Hello everyone, it's Angela. How are you guys doing? I am really excited, always excited when there's a new kit involved. And today we have a new kit. So yeah, this one is about travel. And that could be travels you have on your bucket list like me, travels you've done. I've also got lots of travels I have done. That you want to document and have special memories instead of having all those goodies lying in a drawer or a box somewhere, which is what we tend to do. I thought I'd put this travel journal together. Of course, the timing is perfect because we're coming up to the summer season in the Northern Hemisphere, and that does mean a lot of us take our holidays then as well. So great for upcoming vacations, holidays, or, things that you would like to do. There's that. And that's what I'm going to probably do. I want to make a bucket list of the things, or not the things, the places that I still want to visit. So this one is called Timeless Travels. So I hope that you're going to enjoy it as much as I do. Now, it has a number of pages, and like always, I've segmented the kit into different parts. As a digital, I have digital offerings. I do the all-in-one kit. I think for digitals and for printed, I do the same. I think it makes it easier when I just have it all in one sort of offering. Obviously, it presents a saving to you. And of course, it makes it less confusing because there are so many different parts. But for the printed kits, because it's quite a lot more expensive, obviously, than a digital version, because I have printed it and prepared it for you already. It's all borderless. The signature pages are printed on both sides, and everything is ready for you. All you have to do is cut out your ephemera and add on goodies, and off you go. And we will do that next week on Tuesday. All right, I'll do that video in a week's time. Right, so I've got the digital offers, I've got the printed offers. With the printed offers, can I ask you guys just to read the description box, because every now and then I have someone who's misunderstood what I'm sort of offering. I do the journal kit on its own with the pages, the add-on kit and the ephemera. But then I do the all-in-one offer, which is all of what I've just said. The journal kit, the add-on, the ephemera, but you also get a double set of background pages, one of which is double-sided printed, so you can add those pages to your journal signatures, and the other set is to craft with, which is single-sided. And then you get the add-on pages. Now this time, wait for it, they're different to what I normally do, but I love them. So wait and look out for that. All right, so there we go. All of it is in my website shop, which you know well, angelakerrdesigns.com. Just go over there. Various ways that you can pay. If you have any questions, just drop me an email. All the details are at the bottom of my description box in this YouTube video if you're needing to contact me. I'm not a fan of Messenger. Meaning I don't go on it often. There's so many other social media platforms that people contact me on, and that's the one that I don't get notifications of for some reason. And I have enough to look at. So yeah, if I don't get back to you straight away on Messenger, I encourage you rather to get hold of me via email. It's the way that I'm alerted to instantly with my watch, and I get back to you unless I'm sleeping ASAP. If you have sent me a message somewhere, especially email, and I haven't got back to you within a couple of hours, please send me another one, because that one obviously hasn't arrived in my inbox. All right. And of course, make sure if you want to reply, because I do reply to you, that you have checked your spam folder and marked my email as not spam. Right, I've finished with all of that. Okay, so here we go. I love this kit. I hope that you're going to love it too. Right. Printed kits come in these pouches, so I have put it together as I would normally sell it and as I personally use it. All right, so look at all those pages. There are 69 pages just in the journal collection kit. The background and add-on pages are to follow, but this is just the 69 pages, the biggest I've ever done, and that's because of photographic pages and things that I want to do. All right, so I'm going to take that out of the way. We'll come back to this one. Right, so let's have a look at that. So here's the first page. The journal pages themselves are 14, but when we put them in the signature, we will have 18 pages, and you'll see why. All right, so here's the first one. I'm going to flip through them pretty quickly. I have printed on the other side, but I'll get to that when we put them together. All right, so here's the first one. The next one, lots of country themes. I've tried to make it pretty generic. Hiking, whether it's hiking holidays, rail holidays, countryside holidays, camping holidays. Isn't that amazing? I've added a lot of sentiments on here. Visiting, well, that's Big Ben, but you know, it could be any city. Nature trails, my favorite. Staying in hotels. Your bucket list, very important, especially if you're over 50. You should, all of you should have a bucket list. I love that. Life is short, book the trip. Definitely, I had to put that there for you. Lovely railway holidays. We've got holidays in, you know, this could be Italy or Spain, you know. Beautiful eating, oh my gosh, and the European continent is amazing for food. Say yes to adventure, the world is waiting with its hiking holidays, you know, all that amazing stuff. Shopping, markets, views, you know, follow those dreams. So these are all our journal pages. Beach holidays, take the scenic route, always. All right, so those are your journal pages, and then I have put together these. Now I've got two different sets of these for different purposes. I've got writing pages, so I've added some lines and a space there to write the date or a title. All right, so we've got that. So we've got two of these, and I'm showing you these as I'm going to print them for my journal. So you in your digital, you would only get one, but in your printed kit, you'd get two. And then I've got two in a different background. All right, still the writing pages, so we can add those. Then I've got these. Now these are for photographs. All right, so this is a 4x6 size. And this is for photographs, a little space here to make a little comment or a title. So I love those. So I've put two in that background and then two in this background. Okay, so that makes 18 pages, but really in the digital, I'm not duplicating the ones that I've done yet twice. I'm just giving you an idea. Okay, so those are your journal pages over there. Right, I like to show you how it all matches, so that's why I'm doing this. So we've got our journal pages. This is our ephemera pages. All right, so that's what this is here. You've got your postcards that I've made and altered, and another set that I've created. And again, I've tried to put all the different sorts of things. Then I've made a lot of little sentimental cards. That's the word. I was thinking of how I was going with that word. Right, so you've got lots of little quotes and things here, and little images, which are lovely. And then some more. I've done a lot of tickets for this, which you'll see. So got some more there. Here's all the tickets. These are like the baggage tickets for different cities. I've put loads of them here along with other tickets that we're going to decorate with and add. So that's why I've got that. And then I've made a half size because a lot of people can't do that. I have done it and added it here. So we've got smaller ones. Then I've made some Polaroids. Also, again, of different scenic things you might see on your holiday. And I love those because it is about, you know, mementos and holidays and things. Here's some little travel cards and a couple of little words, which I love to add. Then I've made some more. There's Paris, France, Cornwall, shipping, cruise, you know, it's all in here. Hello, teddy bear. Yes, you're looking overgrown. He's going for a spa day. I tell him it's a spa day because they get a, like my daughter would say when she was little, a massage, and a trim and a wash and everything, and a nice pamper session. So he's looking quite woolly. So here we go, all of those there. Nice camper van. Who doesn't love a camper van? It's definitely on my bucket list, that. Then I've added more of these quotes. I love these cards, and I've tried to incorporate as many different quotes as I could come up with. And there's another set. And then of course I've made them both half the size, because that I found really useful size. All right, Teddy, can you stop? Then I've made some really large cutouts here because I have a plan to use them in the way I'm going to put the journal together. So this is of luggage. And then I've put in some flowers. Aren't they pretty? And then of course smaller is that a word? Smaller flowers. Okay, because we can never have enough of those. Then I've got the clip art in the normal size and then in the half size. Okay, so that's 18 pages there. 18 pages of ephemera. Right, they get bigger and bigger, these. Right, and then I have got the add-on kit. Okay, so we've got our tags as usual. 2 sets of those. I love doing this. I love that, making these two. Well, I love making it all. But here's your smaller tags, and then another set of smaller tags. And then we've got our envelopes. Look how pretty that is. I do love that. And there's another one. And of course, small little ones. Love those. And then lots of pockets. So we've got triangular pockets. We've got our upright rectangular pockets. We've got our library pocket sort of size, and we've got these circles which are so handy, and our smaller pockets. These are little rectangular ones. Then like larger seed pockets, which I do find really handy. So lots of pockets to decorate and store bits and pieces in, and of course tabs. All right, so that's everything there. Now, as I say, I'm showing this to you as you would find this in the journal collection. All right, so that's everything you would get in there, and that's your signatures bits. They are printed on the back. We'll show you that next time. Then you get another set of these. Obviously with the digital you decide what you want to print where, but why I'm doing that is I just wanted to show you that I do have 7 pages of the mini pages at the back. All right, so those are just the same as I showed you, but half the size. And I just think that doing this helps a lot of people. I get a lot of people who like that. All right, so that's the journal pages, the add-on, and the ephemera kits there. All right, now I want to show you the next one. This is the background pages. Right, I start off by doing 2 collage pages, which I actually did pretty much near the end, but I've put them on the top here. I love these. I can see these coming up in a lot of projects. So I've got 2. I've got this one here, and I've done a little bit of a funny definition of travel. And then I've got vacation, a little bit of a funny one there. So you've got that as well. Now, with the background pages, as a printed set now, you get double-sided printing on one set of them. I'll say the same on both sides. And then the second set is single-sided. All right, so that's plain, and this is double-sided. We add a lot of these into our journals, and sometimes we use a double-sided one for making a project. Okay, so there's your first one. Here's your second one. And then I've done some background pages. So I loved making these as well. I love blending them and finding different things and, excuse me, coming up with different designs for them. So this is pinky one, and then more of the burgundy one. I've added maps here because obviously it's travel. So I've added maps to the edge of this one, and then a more pinkier one here. And then we've got our stripes, and this is more neutral. Then I've added these. Now, I've added these to go into the journal. But in the single set, I've also added these because these are great for when you want to line the inside of your journal. Debbie reminded me, thanks Debbie, to make some pages that can go lengthwise when you print it, because the inside of the journal cover needs to be longer than that. It needs to be this way. All right, so we will use probably the gold or the pink, whichever I decide. All right, so that's what these are for. But of course you can add these to your journal as well. All right, so there's green, gold, and this lovely dark dusky pink. Okay, again we're back onto the background pages, so got some old writing bits there, and then I've done some plainer ones, so we've got some nice farm style gingham, and then I've added in these pages which I created, which I love, lots of luggage. Also can fussy cut these out. I wouldn't do it on the double page, we'll probably add that to our journal, and I've done two different ones here. So that one's more luggage and this is more accessories for your luggage. All right, and then we're back to the single set now. So on these we'll end up cutting out some of these, I think, but we'll use a lot of those for projects, and these we'll also put into our journal signatures. So there's 16 designs here, and in the background pack you get one set of each, double-sided, printed and plain. So that gives you 32 pages. All right, one to the back here. Okay, so that's our background pages. Then what I've done is I've done the altered book pages. All right, so that's these. And I've used old vintage maps, and I just love how they've turned out. Perfect for a travel journal. All right, so I've got different images here, and I just love how these are turned out. And again, I've just done 6 of them, and then minis, because it's 3 for each signature. I'm going to make 2 signatures, so that was ample. And I've printed on the back of these with the same designs. All right, so you've got that there, you've got that there. Aren't these amazing? I love them. All right, so you've got there, there we go. All right, and then these are the mini ones, same but just half the size. All right, okay, so that's your altered book pages. So you've got loads here of the journal pages. The add-on and kit are there, your background pages, your ephemera and everything there. So that's the kit itself. And as I said, loads and loads and loads of pages. I think it's something like 76 pages as a digitals, but as a printed kit, it's 110 printed pages back and front. That's how many it is. So an absolute bargain if you work it out. All right, imagine printing 110 sides of paper. All right, so I have got bundles to share with you. Let's start with the lace. So I've just put it on the bag here so it's easy. I'm going to use these bags and another one for the ribbon. So that's how I pack them. We've got 10 varieties of lace here, and they all go, the colours all complement the colours that I have shown you here. So that looks amazing. Cotton, pure lace. This one's a nylon, but crocheted and really lovely. Each one's a meter, so you've got 10 different varieties there. All right, so that's your Timeless Travels lace bundle. And that forms part of the Ultimate Bundle, but I'll talk about that at the end. All right. And then, just look at this. These ribbons, 16 ribbons here. This one's 1.5 meters. We'll make this the closure. But with these little bits here that are nice and burgundy-ish, just going to make things pop. All right, so we've got beautiful greens here. This is a stunning ribbon. They're all stunning. We've got some neutrals. We've got the most amazing selection of pinks and burgundies here. and that's going to be just awesome. Oh, what's he doing? What are you doing? Oh, that's your treat. Okay. Then the cover fabric, and I haven't gone for maps. No, I've kept it in my usual theme, and I have to bring in florals because I'm an earth sign. I'm a nature addict, so I have done the cover in this, and I just love it. It's going to look so amazing with the closure, which is under this side here. All right, and with those greens and everything we're going to do, and I have an idea already in my mind, this is going to look phenomenal. So this is the cover that we're going to put on our journal. All right, so that's, I think it's 18.5 inches by 11 inches, and you're able to make a 3.5 to 3 3/4 spine with this. Okay, it's a lovely drill fabric, the usual that I use, and I've had it printed. So there we go. So that's your fabric piece. Now, the fabric, the ribbon, and the lace make up the ultimate bundle. I don't have the fabric sold on its own, but I do have the ribbon and the lace listed as separate options to order if you're interested. But what I've done here is I've added in just a little freebie. I've added in 1 meter of this 2-inch wide lovely linen frayed, well, it's like a burlap really, fabric, which just matches perfectly. And I want to use this for a bit of decorating, so that's why this is a little freebie that I'm doing just for the ultimate. And then I've got a nice 1-inch wide fabric one just in pinks. All right, so those two will be the little freebie that I'm just going to pack in for you so that we can use that in our decorating, etc. All right. Okay, now I've got a couple of things to do still this week, and I've got a busy week with appointments and things. So I am making this a pre-order for any printed or bundles, printed kits or bundles. Obviously, digitals are immediately downloadable. So I will be sending this out at the latest, because often I do it earlier, Thursday next week. All right, so Thursday the 8th, I will be posting these off. So I've still got quite a few things to do. So it gives me the opportunity not to rush and kill myself like I did with the last one. You know, it's really draining, and then it takes me a long time to get over that because I don't sleep much. It's just because I work myself to the bone. But, you know, with Paige having her own career now, I'm left to do this on my own, which means I've got to work harder. So I'm not going to put the pressure on myself and do it like in a couple of days. I'm just giving myself a good week, because this will go out Wednesday. So it gives me a week to get everything done. And Thursday morning I can post them off, and there we go. If I get it done sooner, guys, I most definitely will get that to you before, and often I do get that out a day and sometimes 2 days earlier. Well, let's just see how I go. All right, I hope that you enjoy this. We are going to be putting this all together, and like I say, I will have a video for you very soon, not Friday. Friday we are going to have the video for the draw for the mini Whisper of Spring mini journals. So if you haven't got into that draw, you've got until Thursday going into Friday midnight, which is the end of April, to purchase something along this Whispers of Spring line. So whether that's a digital, the mini journals, the large kit, or one of the bundles, I've still got a couple of ribbon and lace bundles. You will be eligible to go into that draw, and then I will do that draw and record it and share that with you on Friday. So you might be winning one of the 2 mini journal offers that I have as giveaways. All right. Okay, take good care of yourselves. Have a wonderful week. I'll see you on Friday. Mother's Day is coming up, so I think this would make an excellent gift. So if the family are asking you what you're after, let them treat you. See you all. Stay well. This dog is pulling at my arm. I don't know what he wants. but we'll have to wait and see. I'll see you all soon. Thank you so much for watching and stay well. Bye-bye.